Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos. He's Frank Sadler Jr. As Frank dropped by this morning to say hello, and I brought him up here. And how things going, Frank? And tell us the latest on your dad.
Daddy's doing good. He's in Ottawa, Tennessee, living high on the hog. They take care of him now.
Now that's right there at Chattanooga. Is that right?
Ottawa,
How far is that from Chattanooga?
10 minutes. Like you go into Knoxville.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you got
Is
red
it in the
baby.
mountains? Is it in the mountains?
Oh yeah, it's right where to make Little Debbie snack cakes.
Is it really? Well, Nick Saban's favorite snack is a Little Debbie's.
They make them in Ottawa.
Did they really?
Yeah.
You learn something every day right here on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, some of the news headlines: a student fell from the balcony. I've always wondered and worried about that happening at the Claudia Crosby Theater. There's a balcony. Have you ever been to the balcony of that facility? There's a balcony up there, and evidently some kids were leaning over. I don't know whether they were playing or what, but a kid actually fell from that balcony during the Southeast Honors Band concert. The incident occurred approximately 10:20 yesterday, and the student was transported to Troy Regional Medical Center by ambulance and released, according to the university's spokesman. No further information was available, but again, the kids that were playing around almost got into some serious trouble, dropping from that balcony. And of course, if you've been in Claudia Crosby Theater over the years, they have a big balcony that seats about 500 people. Around that, and again, kids frolicking could get them in trouble, and thank goodness nobody was seriously hurt. Kay Ivey was in town. The trustees extended Coach, I should call him Coach, extended Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr.'s contract for 4 years through September the 30th, 2022. And I am, hey, stay forever. I tell you, this guy's done a great job at being our chancellor for all these years, and Troy seems to progress. All you got to do is drive down through Troy University, and you can see the progress that's still going on. And this man got here, I want to say, since 1989. And had just done a fabulous job as chancellor of the Troy University system. And again, Dr. Hawkins, we self-proclaim today Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr. Day on Troy Cable's Today in LA. So, my good friend, congratulations on 4 more years at the helm of a great university. And he had entered a contract last year that extended his job through September 30, 2018, and this will extend it 4 more years, and we're tickled that he is. Of course, I know he's got the energy, but got the want to be there another four more years. Some of the people that were at the governor's office, Kay Ivey's office, yesterday, one of them was the great one. Dr. John M. Long was there. You can see his picture here, and of course, a lot of the trustees were there, and again, and of course, one of those, Mr. Roy Drinkard was there. I should say Dr. Roy Drinkard. I'm sure he's gotten some some honorary degrees, and of course, great to see all those Troy folks at the Capitol yesterday to really sort of honor Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr. for all that he's done for Troy University. Anybody that didn't know him, he grew up in Mobile, went to Murphy High School, and then later on went to Alabama College, located in well, actually, they don't call it Alabama College anymore. It's Montevallo now, and of course he went to school there, and he got started working with with the medical industry in Birmingham, and then became the president of the School for the Blind in Talladega, and that's where Troy picked him up. Got him to, or encouraged him to come to Troy and be our chancellor back in 1989. Dr. Doug Hawkins was of course, on the board of trustees at Troy for many years, and he told me way before they hired Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr. to be the chancellor that he had found the man. That hey, they have found the man, and they've got to now talk him into coming to Troy, and that's exactly what they did in 1989. And he's just done worlds and worlds of good to help build Troy University to the status that it is today, after taking over from Dr. Ralph Adams, who was also outstanding administrator and an outstanding president of our university. But again, congratulations to Troy University. They've got the Jack Hawkins for 4 more years. What do you think, man?
He's building a lot of stuff.
Great year. He's done a great job, and of course, over the years, I'm sure you have bumped into Dr. Hawkins at a ball game or something, and he always has been nothing but class.
Always shaking your hand.
That's right, and always make you feel good, and that's the kind of guy that makes a good leader. Of course, he's an ex-Marine, served in Vietnam, and of course, he's a very patriotic guy, and again, we're tickled he's going to be around for 4 more years at least. Of course, a lot going on at Troy University. They're right now building a wellness center, which will house a huge building for student activities, such as weight rooms. They'll have swimming pools. They'll have basketball courts and walking tracks, and just an outstanding facility that is being built right now on the campus of Troy University. And I tell you, I don't know if you've been down there lately, but
the stadium is looking good.
Well, the stadium club, the stadium is actually looking good.
I got a buddy that I take to work down there. He works on that stadium.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, everybody was worried about them falling behind, and it was a rainy season. But now they have really been able to get a lot of work in, and they're ahead of schedule now. And I think everybody's been extremely pleased with the efforts of the folks. I'm thinking of Whaley Lumber Company, Whaley Construction, right here in Troy, building that facility. And I tell you, something else that has really impressed me is the new road that's being built. It is really moving fast, and before long, it will be constructed where you can go all the way around Troy University. Of course, this weekend's basketball game starts at 2 o'clock with the women at Troy going up against rival South Alabama. And then at 4:15, the Trojans of Troy University will do battle with
you gonna be there?
Oh yeah. How about you? You gonna be there?
Oh yeah.
South Alabama should be a great game. And prior to that, Frank,
you got the baseball at 11 o'clock.
Frank, and prior to that, there's something that I think you're going to really enjoy: free hot dogs.
Where?
The free hot dogs starting at 11 o'clock.
Won't be there.
From
the baseball field.
Well, Riddle Pace Field.
Yeah.
And where we'll meet the Trojans starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow, the Troy University baseball team and the Troy University softball team.
And they got tickets on sale. 31 games, I think, for $95, which is pretty good.
Well, that's a season ticket.
Yeah,
that's a season ticket if you wanted to buy that. But see, Troy's got 3 games back to back coming up. Of course, one is tomorrow afternoon at 4:15. A big and very important game against their big rival, South Alabama, and then they'll have another game on I think it's Arkansas State on Thursday.
What's that, baseball?
And no, basketball.
Oh.
Arkansas State on Thursday of next week. And then on Saturday week, they'll play Arkansas Little Rock. So 3 big games back to back. But if you go to the baseball gathering tomorrow morning at Real Pace Field, you can pick up a free ticket to the for your kid to the ball game.
Huh. And then I'm sure they'll be signing.
And they're gonna give away T-shirts.
And they'll have probably those posters too.
And they're gonna give away rags. They're gonna give away T-shirts and rally rags. What do you call them?
Yep. At the basketball game.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the students get the shirts. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, the first 500,
right.
I think. So I would think that
I'm sure they have
high school students would mean high school students too.
I'm sure they have plenty to give everybody.
Well, they're calling it a whiteout.
Right.
Supposed to wear white tomorrow.
Wear a white Troy shirt.
And and that'll be a lot of fun, getting ready for a big weekend of sports. You know, Frank, you grew up, in a college environment. Your dad was a longtime football coach, for several years at Chattanooga, University of Chattanooga, and of course another 6 or 8 years at South Carolina
and New Mexico.
Then he coached in New Mexico. So you've been around the college environment all your life, haven't you?
About roughly.
Was it fun being the coach's son, getting to go to practice and all that?
I ran the balls in and out for them. I was on the opposite side of where they were.
During the game?
I ran the balls in and out.
I mean, during the South Carolina game, before 80,000 fans, you ran the balls out.
In and out.
So you were part of the game. But now, didn't you have a hard time running?
I had some buddies.
But you ran the balls in on a game day Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, man, I tell you, that is something. And of course, they'd have 80,000 fans at a South Carolina game.
I remember we were in high school and he was at UTC. We was playing against Tennessee State, and we stayed on the. What was funny is you say on the opposite side, you hear all the coaches fussing about the calls and all. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No question about it. And my preacher. It tickles me. Mac Lowry, he carries the chain at Troy University games, and he hears all the comments that coaches make. And some of these guys are nice, classy gentlemen, but some of them are not so classy.
You're hearing some wild
so
stuff.
You don't want any youngsters hearing some of the vocabulary that's going on. But like Coach said, though, there are a lot of nice guys out there too, and. Mac Lowry can attest to that too. Of course, we've got a big weekend, ladies and gentlemen, celebrating the life and the legacy of John Lewis this weekend at Troy University, and this is going to be a wonderful event. From humble beginnings, history can be changed, and this guy, ladies and gentlemen, was one of the leading people in the civil rights movement in the country, one of the big names as far as men that contributed to the rights of his constituents. And again, he's going to be in Troy starting today, and of course the day is to honor the boy from Troy, who is, ladies and gentlemen, has made history. Representative John Lewis, who is a Democrat from Georgia, will be in town for the annual Leadership Conference celebrating African American History Month. Mackenzie Kaler said it has just made sense to honor the Troy native, and again, the Honorable John Lewis. And John, if you're watching our show today, or we're just awfully proud and honored to have you in our community today. Last year we were celebrating our places, and this year we're honoring our people. Kayla said a few months back we found out that we were having Congressman John Lewis for our leadership conference. So we decided to have John Lewis Day celebration. Dr. Martin Luther King, one of his very best friends was John Lewis, and constituents, and of course he followed in the footsteps of the great one, Dr. Martin Luther King, and he referred to him. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. referred to him as the boy from Troy. We just wanted to honor him for what he's done for the civil rights movement, starting it from Troy and onward. Now, of course, Lewis now is representing the 5th District of Georgia in the U.S. House of Representatives, gained national attention as one of the original freedom riders and a leader of the civil rights movement alongside Dr. King. The ceremony honoring Lewis was held at the Troy Public Library Saturday following, the ceremony honoring Dr. Lewis, or honoring Representative John Lewis, will be at the Troy Public Library tomorrow following the leadership conference. So Stephanie Baker, director of the Reunion Troy Committee, said it was time for Lewis to receive recognition. And while John Lewis has received tremendous honors for his role in the civil rights movement, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Obama in the 2011 year, and naming of the U.S. Navy oiler, and then the city of Troy and the state of Alabama has never actually justly honored Dr. or Mr. Lewis for his courage and leadership. Baker said, I believe John Lewis Day weekend events will provide historical and educational benefits to not only our city but the state of Alabama. So all of this is going on, and of course also in attendance and this weekend will be Lee Centale, the director of Alabama Tourism Department, and he is putting together a good program. So Centale and the Reunion Troy Committee began working on the logistics to celebrate Lewis' legacy both in Troy and statewide, and also we're going to have a great weekend honoring the life of John Lewis, and this very well done by the Messenger, a program. And of course this is in your Messenger today, but you can also drop by the Messenger and pick up one, and it's a great story and about the legacy, and it continues, of John Lewis, and it was a good story about his history and his career and the things he did for local Pike County leaders. Troy native and legendary civil rights activist John Lewis is an American hero. To me, John Lewis represents a hometown hero and icon for right here in Pike County, said Gwen Bean, president of the Pike County chapter of the NAACP. I feel the shoes he walked in are similar to the same shoes that Martin Luther King Jr. walked in. Lewis is returning to Troy Friday to deliver the keynote speech at Troy University's annual leadership conference for African American History Month, and will remain in Troy Saturday for the first ever proclamation of John Lewis Day, both in Troy and statewide. So, ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday is going to be John Lewis Day in Troy, Pike County, in the state of Alabama. Call coming in here. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
How you doing, Mike? Will Matthews.
Will Matthews. And Will, we were just talking about a big event coming up in Troy this weekend. You know, John Lewis, the representative from, or the congressman from Georgia, you know, was born and raised in Troy. Did you know that?
Well, it was actually somewhere between Troy and Brundage.
That's right. And they're going to honor him this weekend at Troy University, a part of the, American, this weekend, and there's going to be a lot of people in town for this event.
When is that going to be, Mike? 'Cause
Well,
I
it's a
like
part of the Troy University's annual leadership conference, celebrating African American History Month, and will remain in Troy Saturday for the first ever proclamation of John Lewis Day, both in Troy and statewide. And this will start this morning. He'll be speaking this morning at Troy University, and then we'll stay on Saturday, and we'll be here for the all the things that they've got planned for his day. I mean, they're going to have a day for John Lewis.
Well, let me tell you my John Lewis story, and I think I've told you this before. But my daughter graduated from law school in 2013. She went to Ole Miss Law School. Guess who spoke at the commencement for her law school graduation?
John Lewis.
John Lewis.
That's great.
John Lewis. So John Lewis, you know, and I'm there. I'm not really thinking about what he's saying or whatever. But then he says he's from right near Troy, Alabama, and I said, what?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, Lewis was, he walked with Reverend King, and through all the civil rights walks and movements and so forth. And it said Lewis often was often referred to by Dr. King as the boy from Troy. Helped lead the Bloody Sunday. He helped lead the Bloody Sunday March across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma on March the 7th, 1965. With standings and all of that going on, he was right in the middle of it.
He suffered a skull fracture on the bridge.
Yeah.
A state trooper hit him with a blackjack in the head.
Yeah. Well, this is a big day for Troy, and I commend the committee that is putting this on, and of course, we're very, very pleased to have been a part of Troy, Alabama, and Pike County being a part of this celebration.
Well, let me tell you about his speech that day. He said, I never would have dreamed I would be given the commencement speech at Ole Miss, which was the most racist university in the South. I never would have dreamed that. And over his lifetime, he's received about 250 diplomas where he goes and gives a speech.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, oh yeah.
He said there was one diploma out of the 250 that meant the most to me of all of them.
Exactly.
That's where it was from.
Yeah.
Troy University.
He
spoke to Troy, and you're going to like this story. He spoke to Troy about 10 years ago. When he was 17 years old, Mike, he could not go into the public library in Troy because he was black.
Yeah.
Well, the janitor...
And that's where they're having this event, too, is at the public library in Troy.
Yes, and the janitor of the library would clean the library at night and let John Lewis in. He read every single book in that library.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, he goes and gives a speech to Troy, and President Hawkins gave him a degree.
Yeah, honorary degree.
And he's got an office in his house. He hangs these on the wall. So his wife's hanging that one on the wall, and something falls out of it. He picked it up. It was a library card to the Troy Public Library with his name on it.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
that is amazing. That's it, yeah.
And that was his, and he's still got a farm between Brundage and Troy with his sister and his brother.
No question.
And I think the sister even lives on it. But
Yeah.
he comes back once or twice a year to visit his sister.
Yeah. Well, this
And,
facility, the Troy Public Library, is brand new, ultra modern library. He's going to be very pleased, and that Troy has this kind of facility now. And like you said, he read every book he could find. Isn't that right?
Every single book in the library.
Isn't that amazing? Let me put you on hold a minute, Will. I'll be right back. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Morning.
Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Mike, is tomorrow will be John Lewis Day in Troy and Pike County in the state of Alabama, and we're having the celebration right here in Troy tomorrow at the public library. He's going to speak this morning at 9 a.m. And will and of course this is over at Troy University, and it's a part of their Black History Month, and we're excited about that, and just so honored that John Lewis is in Troy this weekend.
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever seen is it Representative John Lewis?
Yeah, representative from Georgia. Yeah, but he was born and raised. They call him the boy from Troy.
I think the only time I saw him in Troy when I was growing up, I guess, was like one day I was in Ingram's Curb Market a while back buying steaks, and I actually saw him in there, I guess, with some family, buying some groceries in Ingram's.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's definitely a great thing. And
he walked hand in hand with Dr. Martin Luther King, Mike, through it all.
Yeah, of course, all the stuff, in the Civil Rights Movement, and he was a part of, and that's definitely great that he's speaking at Troy University today. I'm sure a lot of people will come out and see that.
Exactly. Anything in the sports world that jumps out at you this morning?
I mean, it's basically just recruiting. It's coming down to an end. So it's going to be interesting to see if Coach Brown and Troy can get some good players down the stretch here. They're waiting on a lot of guys to probably make decisions that if they're going to get SEC offers or not, and then that's kind of where the Sun Belt schools and Conference USA schools can come in and get really good players. So
I didn't get the name or anything, but Troy has hired a new football coach, and he comes from LSU. Have you heard that?
I'm not. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
When did that happen? Overnight?
Yeah, overnight. Let me put you on. Let me see if I can move you. I got Will on the other line. Let me see what I can do here.
Okay.
Got him on.
All right, you on? Will, are you on? All right, here we go. Got Mike Amos calling in here.
You lost them both. No, you didn't.
Let's see here. One more. All right, Will, we got both of you on?
You lost Will.
Mike, Will, you on? Mike, you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, Will, you on?
Yes.
Always good to hear from Will Matthews. He's on the other line. And Will, through it all, isn't it just unbelievable to know that they had to wait that long to be able to vote? Can you believe that? Will. Will, do you hear us?
You got cell phone issues.
All right, okay. Of course.
Is that any better? Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better, Will. Will, isn't it unreal that we waited so long for Dr. King to actually lead his people to be able to vote?
Yeah, women didn't get to vote either for a long time.
I know they sure didn't, and wasn't that unreal? That's the way it was back then.
Yeah, you're right.
Of course, Will Matthews calling in, Judge Will Matthews calling in, and of course, again, a great program located in the Messenger this morning. It's an insert, and I'm sure you can drop by and pick this up. This is a keepsake, and it portrays the entire history of not only of what John Lewis did in his career, but also talks a lot about things that Dr. King did and the things he believed in, and you read or listen to any speech that he made, and it sure made plenty of sense. Don't you agree?
And, John Lewis he's one of the big five in the civil rights movement. You had Martin Luther King,
Exactly.
you had Andrew Young, you had Ralph Abernathy,
That's right.
John Lewis, and
Jesse
John
Jackson.
Lewis.
Jesse Jackson was one of them too, wasn't he?
That was the big five, right?
Yeah.
And
Isn't that amazing?
And John Lewis ran the bus, the deal for the college kids that came from Nashville, from Fisk University and Tennessee State, which were all black colleges, and they would get on the bus and go through Alabama because there was a law against them riding on the bus or something, and they would get arrested in Birmingham, and they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
To get awareness to this was going on.
Yeah.
But that's what he was in charge of.
No question about it. And I was just looking here, our Arts Council here in Troy.
Hey,
Will,
Will, who's this guy that's running for governor? He was an evangelist named Scott Dawson. Do you know anything about him?
He's got zero chance.
I've been seeing a lot of signs up in Birmingham. I didn't know if he's
Well,
a guy or
Rick and Bubba are pushing him. He's a friend of theirs.
not. Okay.
But good luck with that. It's going to be between Kay Ivey and that Battles guy from Huntsville.
yeah.
Oh, really? You think a guy from Huntsville could win?
He's the mayor of Huntsville, and I understand he's got lots of money, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, Kay, I go way back with Kay. I've known her a long time, and let me tell you something. Nobody fits the bill any better than she does. She's been around it all her life, politics all her life, and government. Nobody probably no governor in a long time has had the experience with running state government as she has.
Yeah, but don't you think on the Republican Party, I mean, there's going to be a lot of controversy with her, speeding up that election for the Senate race, and basically, it was kind of a situation that election really wasn't supposed to take place till this summer. Wasn't that right, Will?
Yeah, that's right. It would have been this summer.
Yeah.
And I guess she just had I guess not a good relationship with Luther Strange, or didn't like the way he got appointed from Bentley, and
She
all
threw
that.
him under the bus. There's
Yeah.
no question about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some issues with that. I would think whoever's running against her will definitely push that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Steve Flowers.
I imagine Luther Strange is probably done with politics. There was a mention of something on AL.com the other day about how he'll get a pension from just serving in the Senate just for a little while.
That's crazy.
No question about it. Will, you'll be interested in this. A black 1949 Super 8 four-door Packard was found Thursday in Brundage after going missing from Troy earlier this month. It was a guy bought this car, Will, in Troy, and it was a story behind it. He said he left the car while traveling through Troy on his way to Florida from Missouri on December 22nd, and he returned January the 26th to find the vehicle gone. What it was, the car, the police had recovered a classic car that the Florida owner said went missing when he left Troy. Until he could fix the trailer it was being hauled on. And so he goes back to Florida and on the 22nd and comes back on of December, comes back on January 26th to find the vehicle gone. Now, Will, it's a black 1949 Super 8 four-door Packard. What do you think about that?
And probably worth a lot of money.
And and of course they did find it. It says here, Brunton attempted to place the hub on the trailer the night it broke, but it couldn't get the right part, and so he pulled the trailer over and onto an access road near Julia's restaurant and the Econo Lodge, and checked with both owners to assure it was okay for him to leave the car there before he headed to Florida. And of course, they recovered the vehicle at an automobile business in Brundage. Barr said nobody has been charged with anything yet. But I thought that was interesting.
They just abandoned his car.
Well, Will, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Who do you like? Who do you like?
I've been thinking about it back and forth, and I just got to, I just think Philadelphia's defense is so good. I think it's going to be close. I like the points. I don't know if Philadelphia will win or not, but I think it's going to be a 3-point game either way.
What's the line?
4.
I just like, hey, now I tell you one thing. The key is this: is how well New England's going to be able to block this front of Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got a good defense, but I just don't think that they can stop Brady. Brady's the greatest quarterback to ever live. Will.
The last two Super Bowls that New England's won, they should have lost both of them.
Yeah.
And I was at the one in Arizona when Seattle inexplicably threw a pass from the 1 yard line and New England picked it off with like 30 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah.
It was the stupidest call I've ever seen. You know, they had that Marshawn Lynch, and it's 1 yard to go, and it's 2nd and 1. You give it to him 3 times. If you can't make a yard, you deserve to lose.
Let me give y'all a little information that'll surprise you a little bit. Have you ever wondered how much money these guys made to be in the Super Bowl?
I think it's like 60 or 70 grand, isn't it?
All right, here it is. The division winners in the wild card games make the winner makes $28,000 and the loser makes $26,000. In the division playoffs, the winners and the losers make $28,000. Everybody makes the same. In the conference championships, which were played 2 weeks ago, the winners and the losers make $51,000. They make the same amount. And then for the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl, the winners make $112,000. And the losers make $56,000.
All right. Well, if you win the Super Bowl, you make about $220,000.
Yeah. You can make right at $200,000 for a player that played on the Super Bowl winner. After the other playoffs.
You probably have to be on the active roster.
Yeah.
I would guess to receive that money. I mean, guys like Dante Hightower from Alabama. Hightower's not playing. He's a great player for New England. Cyrus Jones, who's a great player at Alabama, got hurt again for New England this year, so he's not playing. And then Garcia from Troy was a 3rd-round draft pick for New England. He's not playing.
Is he even on their roster?
Yeah, he's on their injured reserve.
Oh, he is. Garcia is. So he actually made the team and everything.
That's a good. Well, Dad, he made the team. He's a 3rd-round draft pick.
No, that don't necessarily make the team. You made
the team. You're a 3rd-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're 3rd round. What high school in Alabama has produced the most players to play in a Super Bowl? This should be easy.
Carver High, Montgomery.
No.
Oh. Wait a minute.
You got the Montgomery.
Hoover High School.
That's
No.
Birmingham.
I'd say Robert E. Lee.
Where did Bart Starr play?
Lanier.
No, Lanier. That's right.
Sidney Lanier.
Sidney Lanier has produced more Super Bowl players.
That's the most players ever to play. Graduates of Sidney Lanier to play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Johnny Davis.
Yeah.
Richmond Flowers.
Yes.
Bart Starr, and then a guy that played at Arkansas, then transferred to Alabama State, Tavares Jackson.
It was just 4?
And Geno James. Only five guys.
Oh,
Geno
okay.
James played at Auburn.
I didn't realize that. I was trying to think of who's the attorney there in. I was trying to remember this the other day. The attorney there in Montgomery that went to Lanier was a great high school player and went to Alabama, played defensive back. Will. He's an attorney in Montgomery.
I have no idea.
He played for Lanier, led him to a state championship when he was in high school. I just can't remember him. Let me tell you something that'll surprise you. The Pro Bowl. You wonder what kind of interest do the players have in playing in the Pro Bowl. Well, the winner makes $64,000 and the loser makes $32,000 in the Pro Bowl. You're gonna have to shut that down, Frank.
This is real interesting too. Number 2, you got 2 guys from out of Auburn High School that played in the Super Bowl. Who are those 2 guys, Dad?
Ware? Did Ware ever play in the Super Bowl?
He just won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, okay, Ware, and the other one.
Osi. You Umenyor.
OC Umenyor, yeah.
Will Matthews from Ozark this morning. Who are the two guys from Ozark that played in the Super Bowl, Will?
Well, Wilbur Jackson,
That's correct.
and it's either maybe Steve McClendon.
That's correct. Steve
That's
McClendon
right,
from
McClendon,
Troy
yeah.
University
Troy guy, yeah.
when he was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Mike, who is the Troy player that played in the Pro Bowl? Former Troy player?
Brandon Trawick.
Brandon Trawick, a defensive back that played at Troy. He transferred from Michigan State, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
All right, but so he.
He was from Georgia originally. He transferred to Michigan State, and then he went to a junior college.
Yeah, and I think he made 20.
I want to ask Michael something. What do you think about the Crimson Tide's magical performance against Missouri?
Oh, I mean, it's just like the player said. He said we got punked. I mean, there is no atmosphere whatsoever. I mean, but that's what you deal with when you got those young players. Will you still never know what you're gonna get?
Yeah,
I tell Dad all the time though.
Care. It looked like they didn't care.
I tell Dad all the time. I said I don't know if Avery's a really great coach. He might just be a good recruiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question. But
I tell you what, Missouri had some talent though. I was impressed with Missouri.
oh yeah, everybody's got talent, you know, and on a given day, no question.
So who would be the two guys that are from Eufaula that played in the Super Bowl? Eufaula High School.
Okay, Eufaula High School. Well, one guy that played at Alabama, he played in the Super Bowl. What's his name?
Courtney Upshaw.
Yeah, Courtney Upshaw. He played in it, and
other guy played at Troy.
Uncle Nick,
who played at Troy?
Uncle Nick.
You got to know this. Jarrell Jernigan.
Oh, Jarrell. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're right, Jarrell Jernigan. So that's
almost ran a kickoff back in that game. Ran a kickoff back to the 50-yard line that game.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen.
Be one of those dog masks to wear during the Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, let me ask you this: is my buddy gonna have his big party Sunday?
Oh yeah.
All right, tell us about it, Will.
Yeah, the son of Cecil Skinner, longtime basketball coach. His son Stuart has a party every year. It's legendary. He'll have 400 to 500 people there. There'll be oysters, food, drinks, everything. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Now, who pays for all this? Do you have to pay when you go in?
No, but you're encouraged to donate.
Yeah.
You know.
And these are, you got somebody shucking oysters?
Yes, sir. The Hunt's Oyster Bar.
Oh, yeah.
Comes up every year.
And what time does it start? Do you know?
Starts at 3 o'clock, and they've got big TVs out there. They block off the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, my mother-in-law lives next to a guy from Ozark, Will, who's a lawyer, and he was talking about that party one day. His name's Jeff Grantham.
Oh yeah, it's legendary.
Yeah. Do you know Jeff Grantham?
Absolutely, he and my brother are best friends.
Oh, okay.
Works for Bradley Arant.
Bradley Arant in Montgomery. My brother works for Burr Foreman, but his office is in Montgomery.
Yeah. And of course,
let me tell you about Stewart's party. 5 years ago was that situation in Midland City where the bus driver got murdered, and the guy took the child and put him in the bunker, you know, in the FBI.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
5 years ago. Well, there was a reporter from the New York Times named Campbell Robertson that was down here for that, and I met Campbell, and we became friends. And the hostage situation was still going on, and the Super Bowl was played 5 years ago. I don't know who the teams were, but I said, Campbell, I'm going to take you to the damnedest party you've ever been to in your life. And he said, okay. And he did an article in the New York Times about this party.
Yeah.
And took pictures and everything. So Stuart Skinner has made the
Stuart is yeah.
He made the New York Times.
Isn't that amazing? Now, now is it open to everybody?
Open to anybody, yes.
Anybody. And what else? They'll have raw oysters, and what else will they have to eat?
They'll have steak sandwiches. sandwiches and hamburgers. And
Well, I
hot
tell you
dogs.
what, I might just
Dad,
drive.
if y'all don't go to the beach, you might as well go down there.
I might just drive down there and see him. But now I just installed in my den downstairs
Yeah, 70 inch,
a
that's all that. That's pretty
70-inch TV. Will.
Well, let me tell you what I've always done. I go at 3 o'clock, and I stay till 5. The kickoff's at 5:30, and I'll drive back to Dothan. I'll
Yeah.
be back in Dothan at the kickoff.
Yeah.
That's what I always do. But this
Well,
year,
I tell you what, his daddy. I've known Stuart most all of his life, but I tell you, I consider his daddy one of my good friends,
Oh, he's
the
a
great
great guy.
Cecil Skinner. And Mike, you talking about a great basketball coach? He was a great basketball coach. At one time on his basketball team, he had Woodrow. He had Wilbur Jackson. He had Dexter Wood, and the fullback was. But Wilbur and Dexter were both good basketball players, weren't they?
yeah. Now Ellis Beck didn't play basketball.
Ellis Beck didn't play basketball, but he played fullback at Alabama. No question about it. Of course, we've got a big baseball weekend where you can meet the Trojans starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow at Riddle Pace Field, and of course free hot dogs and tickets to the basketball game. It'll be a big day tomorrow, even though it's going to be cold. Will, can you believe this cold weather, man?
I don't think
It was-
it's
it-
cold today, is it?
No, it's freezing up here in Birmingham. It was 62 yesterday in Birmingham, and this morning it's 27.
Oh, we have had some. We've had some real cold weather.
You know, speaking of Alabama basketball, Will, you know, we mentioned that earlier. I think there's a really good chance they don't make the tournament. Have you seen their schedule down the stretch? It's brutal.
Oh yeah, they've got 5 ranked teams in the last 8
Yeah.
games.
They got Kentucky, Florida. They've got Auburn. I mean, they've got Mississippi State, Tennessee. I mean, it is just brutal down the stretch.
I think they played Florida twice. I'm not sure.
No question
And
about
they
it.
on the radio yesterday. Everybody wants to blow up Coleman Coliseum, and they've been talking about wanting a new basketball arena for years and years. They
But
talk
you
about it on
know-
the radio all the time. And now they're saying there's a chance that they won't destroy the arena, but they'll totally gut everything out, take all the boosters out, take everything out, and basically just kind of keep the outside but make everything brand new on the inside. And I kind of think that's a good idea.
Well, let me tell you, it's unusual. The roof and everything's unusual, but I tell you what, and you and I have been in there many times. I know Will has too. It is a great place to watch a game.
Everybody thinks it's not modern enough.
Well, I tell you what, it's a
Yeah, they've done renovations over the years, but this would be like totally
Yeah.
starting from scratch. Like
well, it sort of reminds me a little bit of Sartain Hall. It is it's not the most beautiful place on the outside, but when you go in to watch a basketball game, you can't find a better seat. You know.
I don't know if you ever sit in those top levels where you're underneath the rafters.
Yeah.
Good seats. I sat so high one time a few years ago, my wife, that literally I was hitting my head when I stood up.
What you mean at Coleman Coliseum?
At Coleman Coliseum, yeah, I was in one of those corners way
Yeah.
up high.
Will, I've got information galore on the Super Bowl. You know, the thing about the Super Bowl is all the what do you call it? Everything leading up to it. The game won't start till 6:30.
Advertisement.
The game won't start till 6:30, but the TV coverage starts at around 1.
Yeah, that's 5:30.
I mean, it's crazy. And of course,
All about the commercials and stuff.
Yeah, advertisement.
yeah, I think an advertisement costs over $1 million per 30 seconds.
Wow.
Over $1 million.
More than that.
Yeah, well, it's probably more than that now. Yeah.
You know, they asked a good question yesterday. If Nick Foles leads the Eagles to their first Super Bowl title, I mean, you know, it was a great question. Would he still be the starting quarterback over Wentz the following season?
No.
And everybody agreed that Wentz would be the starter.
Of course, Wentz is
He's the real deal. He's the next superstar, isn't he?
he is, and he was drafted like number 2
Yeah.
in the draft.
Yeah. Will,
But
is
I mean,
Brady
I'm
the
just saying,
best
I mean,
quarterback to ever live?
This guy will go down as a legend, though, if he wins it.
Yeah. I want to ask y'all a question. Is Brady the greatest quarterback to ever live?
Yeah, they call him the GOAT, the GOAT,
Yeah.
the greatest of all time.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, he said that for like last 2 or 3 years.
All right, better than Unitas.
Oh, definitely.
Better than
Manning.
Only guy you can even
Better than Favre.
It's Montana.
Better than
Yeah,
Montana.
Montana.
There we go.
How about our other guy but you know what? Montana was good, but I don't know if anybody was as good under pressure as. They claim that Montana brought back more teams late to win a game than anybody, but of course.
How many times did Montana win it?
4.
3. So I think he won 3,
Yeah.
and Steve Young won.
All right,
1.
now who was the greatest quarterback to not win or not even go to the Super Bowl or to not win a Super Bowl? Who was the greatest quarterback?
Marino.
The great one out of Miami. Now,
Yeah.
he was a great quarterback. You look at stats, he probably leads more than all of them. But you look at.
Did you know Marino went to the Super Bowl his rookie year?
What he sat on the bench, so did he?
No, he started.
No,
Oh, did he?
Starter, yeah.
Okay.
He went to the Super Bowl his rookie year and never got back.
Yeah. All right, but
Who is Marino's star wide receivers? Duper and Clayton.
I wouldn't ever be able to remember that. But all right, now Greasy. All right, Greasy was a great quarterback. You remember Bob Greasy? He was a great quarterback.
Yeah, but he won a Super Bowl. Who is Marino's center?
Marino's center was the guy that played at Alabama.
Dwight Stevenson.
Dwight Stevenson.
Yeah.
Considered, a lot of people think Stevenson was the greatest center to ever live, and a lot of people think Hanna was the greatest offensive lineman to ever live.
Well, that's been voted on that Hanna was the greatest offensive lineman ever.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him up close, Will? Hanna? Did you ever see him up close?
Yeah,
His thighs were bigger around than most people.
my sister was in his brother's wedding.
Oh, wait a minute, Will. Wait a minute.
Yeah, Charlie. When Charlie got married, and I was there, and Charlie got married in Mariana, and I went to the wedding too.
Yeah.
And Margaret Ann Harrison was married to Charlie, and they got married in Mariana, Florida.
Yeah. John Hanna, Charlie Hanna.
Charlie was in Montgomery the other night, Dad. He's a high school coach somewhere.
Is he really? All right. John Hanna, Charlie Hanna, and who's the other one? There were 3 of them.
There's another Hanna?
There were 3 of them, 3 brothers.
No, I only knew
All right.
2, but
Wait a minute. It was John Hanna and Charlie Hanna. And wasn't there another one? Wasn't there 3 Hanna brothers?
I think their daddy was a player.
I mean,
how
3
many
total.
relatives
3
were there?
total. 3 total. I thought there was a third Hanna brother.
I don't know.
But I was fixing to say how many brother combinations can you think of that were great players, And of course, I think all the Hanna boys played in the pros. Of course, his daddy played in the pros.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Today in L.A.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats, so we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
This this in April. This is February.
You're lying.
February 10th. Back to our show, and of course, the Heart Behind the Music Songwriter Showcase will be at the Claudia Crosby Theater, not this Saturday, but Saturday week. And it'll be at the, and of course, it starts at 7 o'clock. Teddy Gentry from the group Alabama. Linda Davis, the great singer-songwriter, and Marty Raven of Shenandoah will be the guest talent. And of course, this is brought to you by the Troy Arts Council. And I tell you, Troy, Alabama, they had the championship storytelling festival last weekend. They got John, the great program we got this weekend with John, the congressman from Georgia, John Lewis, and we're proud to be doing that this weekend. This little town of Troy has so many things going on, Will.
I know.
You know, of course, being in a college town makes a lot to do with it. And I tell you something that Troy does, Mike, and Will, you ought to come up for it. Next Wednesday at the Stadium Club, starting at 5:30, they've got a big party. It's a recruiting party. It's to celebrate recruiting, and they'll the whole coaching staff will be there. There'll be food, there'll be drink, be a lot of fun, and each coach will talk about the recruits that they signed. And it's really a good production. Troy Cable will be there, and it should be a lot of fun. Bud from Luverne said David Hanna, and I don't forget about, Charlie Hanna and David Hanna. See, there were three of them. You remember that, don't you?
I didn't remember David.
Mike, David Hanna, all three of them played pro ball. I knew that. Bud from Luverne called and corrected us on that. Terry Bradshaw from the Steelers, he thinks was the greatest. He went to 4 Super Bowls. That is pretty good. You would have to rate him pretty high up there, wouldn't you?
He had that defense was the reason they won all those.
Yeah, that steel curtain defense.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember something about that team or during that time. Stabler was a backup to LaMonica, and they brought Stabler in against Pittsburgh, and he ran 40-something yards for a touchdown, and they weren't but, less than a minute to play in the game, and the game looked like it was going to be over, and it looked like Stabler was going to be the star, and it looked like the Oakland was going to go to the Super Bowl, and or was the Super Bowl. I don't know. I can't remember.
It was to go to the Super Bowl.
To go to the Super Bowl, and a deflection. Bradshaw throws a pass, and it was deflected, and the ball came back and hit the arms of what's that big old burly Franco Harris, and he ran it all the way for a touchdown. All they had to do was tackle him, and the game's over. You remember that?
Absolutely.
But, hey, I tell you what, people looking for a great Super Bowl party. That party in Ozark is renowned. And, hey, ice-cold oysters? Ice-cold?
Absolutely.
Do you like ice-cold raw oysters?
There's nothing better, and they'll have them all afternoon.
I would love it. Let me tell you, I ate at Hunt's in Dothan. Hunt's in Panama City and Hunt's in Dothan, they're not even related. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, they're not.
And they're two great places to eat, you know. And but I tell you, you wouldn't believe how many people are in there eating raw oysters Saturday.
Well, Hunt's in Dothan does Stuart Skinner's party every year.
Do they?
Yeah, they bring a truck up there with and bring their oyster shuckers.
How long has he been doing this, Will?
25 years probably.
Yeah. Mike, are you on the phone? Mike Amos has dropped off the phone. Will Matthews is on the phone from. Are you in Dothan or in Ozark?
I'm in Dothan.
Of course, from the Matthews Law Firm. Will, tell us about what's going on right now. How did you think the speech went? And pro or con, what did you think?
I thought it was fabulous. I mean, he laid it out there. Just everything's going on. It's been great.
Well, a guy yesterday might have said something that might have been more truthful than anything. Is he's bringing things out and talking about things that everybody else was afraid to talk about. You know, how to solve something. You know, he's the first president in a long time that I've seen is putting together a plan to correct some things that need to be corrected a long time ago.
Well, he's not a politician, you know.
That's right, and I think that's what makes him good. What do you think?
I agree.
Of course, I saw a picture of you and your son and his wife. Boy, he outkicked his coverage, Will.
And she's expecting a baby too.
Oh boy!
It's gonna be my first grandchild.
Okay, all right. I know you're excited. You already know?
Oh, we don't know what it's gonna be yet.
Will just said it's gonna be his first grandson. Well, so you just know it's gonna be a boy. Is that right?
Well, I have a good feeling about it. I hope.
Exactly right. Of course, Will Matthews calling in from Ozark this morning, as he does many mornings, and we appreciate him very much. And, of course, brought to you by the Matthews Law Firm, located just off the square in downtown Ozark. And, Will, y'all been practicing law in that community how long?
62 years.
62 years, and, of course, your dad started that. Did your dad start the firm?
Yeah, he started.
Yeah, and
1956.
Yeah, okay. And of course, a lot going on. Of course, you've got a brother that's an attorney in Greenville. Is that right, or actually in Montgomery?
That's right. And
I mean, his office is in Montgomery.
Right. It's in the RSA Tower.
But he actually lives in Greenville, doesn't he?
That's right.
I reckon if you love to play golf, Greenville would be a good place to live, wouldn't it?
And they've got a good group of golfers down there.
Oh, I know they do. Always have. No question about it. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Super Bowl week, and everything is going downhill toward the kickoff, which will be at 6:30 from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It holds 66,860. They already know who's going to be wearing what colors. This article I picked up in the paper or off my computer the other day. It says New England will be wearing the home team, so they'll be wearing dark jerseys, and the Eagles will be wearing white jerseys. And the winner will receive $112,000 per man, and the loser will receive $56,000 per man. And that doesn't count what they made in the 2 or 3 other games they played.
Right.
So that does make a big difference, doesn't it?
Well, it's just a little extra pocket change.
Yeah, you're right. And then after Uncle Sam gets it, it won't be much, will it?
No.
Of course, now you will, with tax time coming around, and I want to remind you that you can get your taxes done free in downtown Troy this weekend, or actually today too. Several of the accounting majors at Troy University, in response to another group, will actually do your taxes free. You know, back in the old days before I had to itemize everything, Will, that'd be something I'd jump all over, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you get somebody do your taxes for you free. Oh, Will Matthews is on the phone, and again, now what time would Stewart's party start, Will?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, and of course everything builds up, and it's located in the neighborhood, isn't it?
It's next to the country club there in Ozark. It's easy to find.
And just wait until you see a bunch of cars. Is that right?
You'll find it. It's easy to find.
Are you going to be there? No,
I've got to go to another Super Bowl party.
Okay.
There, but it'll
Okay, no question about it.
Well, I got to run, buddy. We'll see you.
Well, thank you so much. Will Matthews calling in from his office in Dothan, and we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more of Today in L.A.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Napa know-how. Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time. Know-how. Napa know-how.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
I want to remind you that the ceremonies will begin, this weekend from the Troy Public Library. It starts at 9 o'clock, and then, of course, starting today from the Troy University. I think they're doing this at the I want to say that the actual ceremonies start today on campus from the Sartain Hall. I want to say that's where the events will start, but I'm going to have to double check that in a few moments. But again, it's a big weekend for Troy, not only honoring John Lewis, the renowned civil rights led a legacy in his whole life supporting the efforts of civil rights and all of the actually would be considered one of the top 5 civil rights activists and supporters and people that made things happen in that movement alongside of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Of course, we've got basketball galore going on. Pike Liberal, man, how cold can you get? Lee Scott beat Pike Liberal 56-19 to end the season, and this game was played in the Final Four of the state playoffs in Montgomery. Pike Liberal Arts had their season come to a close Thursday when they fell to Lee Scott Academy of the Auburn-Opelika area, 56-19. The loss for the Patriots came in the Elite Eight, and of course the Class 3A state playoffs. So, congratulations to Pike. They made it to the Elite Eight. They shot talking about Lee Scott. They shot the ball well, but the Patriots were about as cold as you could get. Patriots scored just 2 points in the opening quarter, and then the Patriots were outscored by the Warriors 11 points and went into the second quarter. Pike was trailing 13-2. Patriots offense attempted to get going, but they scored only 7 points in the second quarter, and after that, Patriots went into the halftime trailing 24-9. And again, they only scored 10 points in the second half. So cold shooting galore, ladies and gentlemen, for the Patriots. But again, congratulations on a good season. They made it to the Elite Eight championships of Class 3A independent school basketball. The Lady Eagles of Goshen pulled off a 44-41 win over Highland Home. and the record gives them an 8-7 overall record, and they will be moving on to the regional tournaments coming up very soon. Goshen ended their regular season last night, beating Highland Home 67-24. So Goshen now awaits the district tournament, and so that'll be going on next week. So we'll be keeping you abreast of all of that going on. Of course, good article in today's paper about the coach's son, Chase Smart, starting his junior season at Troy University. And of course, I've always said he's one of the outstanding high school baseball players I've ever seen, especially as a catcher. And he is getting ready for a big junior year at Troy. I think it's their season underway, not this weekend, but next weekend. And hey, baseball season's here. If you haven't bought your season tickets, you need to buy them soon and go out and see some great baseball. This guy right here is the guy you got to watch for the Super Bowl. His name's Tom Brady. He's a graduate of the University of Michigan. I remember going to the Orange Bowl in Miami to watch Alabama play Michigan, Brady's senior year. And Alabama lost the game. The game went actually into overtime, and Alabama lost it because their kicker missed the extra point. Of course, Brady was the quarterback for Michigan, and you could tell then how good he was going to be. Of course, he led the NFL in passing. He passed for 4,577 yards, and of course, he's a 4-time Super Bowl most valuable player, going for his 6th World Championship ring. How can you go against a guy like this? He's 5-2 in Super Bowls, so he's been to 7 Super Bowls. He's a top contender for the 3rd regular season most valuable player award with 32 touchdown passes at the age of 40. He is an old man. He's 40 years old. And, some of the older guys that I can remember, George Blanda played into his 40s. Of course, he was also a place kicker. And, of course, I think right now the great place kicker for New England has been there, several years. And good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, I was just calling back in.
Mike Amos calling back in. Mike. Brady's 40 years old, but he's not the oldest player in the NFL. Who is the oldest player?
Oldest player in the NFL is the kicker.
For Baltimore, isn't he?
Huh?
The kicker for Baltimore?
No, not Baltimore. He's a kicker for the Colts out of Missouri.
Okay, so the kicker for I thought he was the coach. What did I say?
You said Baltimore.
Oh, I'm sorry, the coach. I still consider the Baltimore being the coach, but the coach, and he's what's his name? He was a great kicker.
He still is a great kicker. Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah, Vinatieri. Yeah. Now Vinatieri was Manning's kicker.
He won the Super Bowl for New England when he made a kick one time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So he was a kicker for New England then.
New England for many years. Yeah. And then he went to the Colts, I think, after that.
Mike, the real big question is Gronkowski. Is he going to be able to play?
Yeah, I think he's going to play. It's just one of those, concussion protocols. Which don't you wish they would have had concussion protocols when you played?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no question about it.
They keep you out for basically they'll keep you out as long as you can't pass the required test. They pretty much put you through.
Yeah.
So. Once he does that, he should be able to practice and play.
It's coming down to the.
I'll be honest with you, it's pretty amazing that the Patriots lost Edelman to start the season.
Yeah, you're right.
To see what they're doing still,
and they're playing with some wide receivers that are just they can catch the football.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty easy to catch the ball when he puts the run on your numbers.
Yeah. No question. Talking about Gronkowski, who I think maybe is the best football player in
Yeah,
the.
that's a good trivia question. Where did Gronkowski play college ball? A lot of people don't realize this. I don't even remember him in college.
I thought he played for up in the East.
No, he played for a Pac-12 school.
Oh, did he? Pac-12 school.
He played at Arizona.
I did not know that. He played at Arizona. I would say this: next to Brady, he's the best football player in America. What do you think?
Well, I think he's the best tight end. I don't know if I'd say best.
Have you ever seen a meaner football player? Is he the meanest football player in America?
I don't know, man. There's been some defensive guys.
I know it, but Gronkowski's not afraid of none of them, Mike. He goes looking for them.
I tell you what, that James Harrison they got in the trade from Pittsburgh, that defensive end who's like almost 40 years old, he was making Cam Robinson from Alabama just look like a kid out there. I mean, he was pushing him backwards into the quarterback from Jacksonville.
Gronkowski.
James Harrison's one of the best linebackers probably in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah. Well, hey, now I could start throwing out some great ones now. Willie Lanier. Have you ever heard of Willie Lanier?
Yeah.
And, of course, there's been some great ones.
This will tell you the difference in women's basketball. You know, South Carolina wins the national championship. UConn gets beat, of course, by Mississippi State last year. And all UConn does last night is beat South Carolina 83-58.
Boy. And they say the kid at Charles Simpson's starting to get letters from UConn. Can you believe that?
From Gino Ariano?
Yeah, he's starting to get letters from Gino, and of course the center at Charles Simpson High School, the Davenport kid, Mario Davenport. She's 6'4". She's a junior, and considered one of the top centers in the entire nation, Mike.
I haven't watched her play in a long time. Does she ever step out and shoot the three?
Well, she's getting where she does that.
Or is she totally outside?
She's getting where she does that, and she's a good free throw shooter. Everybody on that team's a good free throw shooter. You know, they think that the coach's daughter is an SEC caliber girls player, and of course she's just a sophomore. And then the other kid, the Siler kid, is also a major college talent. So there are 3 major college talents on that team.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what she decides to do. If she wants to stay at home and play in the SEC. I mean, you know, Mississippi State's got a great program. Of course, Tennessee's got a great program. And South Carolina just won the national championship. So I guess it just depends. I mean, I feel like if you're a player and you want to go to you know, the elite, you know, the top program and win a national championship, you got to go to UConn, because if you go to UConn, you're almost guaranteed to win a championship.
You know, one of the top players, and we don't talk about this guy enough, one of the top players for New England is Malcolm Butler, the kid that played at West Alabama.
Yeah, that's right, UNA.
He signed a 1-year contract last year for $3.9 million. Can you believe that?
That's not a whole lot of money in the NFL.
I know, but what I'm saying, he just got a 1-year contract on that. It says 1-year tender worth.
I think Hightower, when he re-upped, he got like $30 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Also, that linebacker you're talking about, Harrison, is 6 foot 242, and he is.
He's about 40 years old, though. That's what's crazy.
Is he really? James Harrison, and of course he's a great player, no question about it. But now Danny Amendola, that catch he made in the game the other day was one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, it's like he's got glue on his fingers.
Yeah. You know, they wear all these sticky gloves and stuff like that. I mean, the technology through the years is really incredible what these guys are able to do.
Who was the most notable guy to wear stickum? You know, they used to call it stickum, and it was gooey stuff. Who was the best known receiver to wear to put stickum on their hands?
What is it? The guy that played for the Raiders?
You're right.
What's his name? Florida. Did he play at Florida State?
Yeah, he played at Florida State.
I can't think of his name right now.
Well, he was
Biletnikoff.
Yeah, Fred Biletnikoff.
Biletnikoff,
yeah. And he had it all over his legs, where he reached down and put it on his socks, and people hated to tackle him because they get stick 'em all over him. It was sort of a jail, you know.
You know, I know in college they used to have the tearaway jerseys. Did they ever do that in pros? Did they ever have tearaway jerseys?
No, but back in the heyday, back when Alabama first.
I remember in college. That was
you know, Johnny Musso was my favorite player. You could never see his jersey because he wore those rip-away jerseys, and you know, his jerseys were ripped off. You know, I don't see how in the world they got away with that rule for such a long time. It became famous by Oklahoma. Oklahoma and Bud Wilson started doing it first, and the rip-away jerseys. But, I mean, gosh, nobody could identify them. How in the world can you identify a guy
that would have been costly for the universities, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But, see, it was real thin material. You know, it was like a T-shirt. It was like playing football in a T-shirt.
I mean, it's amazing now, the fabric and material and how high-end these jerseys are. You know, I do it for a living now, so I guess I pay attention to more stuff like that now than ever. But, I mean, it's just funny that they used to have that back in the day.
Yeah. Mike,
they're pretty much playing in a glorified little practice jersey. It seems like.
Mike, you got to tell the people this. You know, people wonder how much it costs to put a football team on the field. Tell them what the cost of a good helmet would be.
Well, I mean, they had the Shutt helmets that I sell. The F7 is the most popular, as far as protection and nicest helmet out there today, and that retails for around $900.
$900 for a helmet, and
in
high
school, get it for about $560 maybe.
What, you can get it for $550?
Yeah, maybe, and then you do your shoulder pads. Your shoulder pads are usually around $120. Depends if you want to do a stock uniform or a custom uniform. If you do a custom uniform, you're looking at another, as far as jersey and pants, you're looking at another $130, $140. And then you're looking at, if you do like a Nike cleat or Adidas cleat, like another $60, $70.
Yeah.
Just depending on what kind of cleats you buy, and that's not counting.
All right. $550 for the helmet.
That's not counting your girdle too. You know, your 5-pack girdles. You know, some of those aren't that expensive.
So we're talking about over $1,000 per player at least, wouldn't you think?
If you do the high end stuff, there's no doubt.
Yeah. Well, what is what's a regular high school? What would Goshen High School or Charles Henderson wear? Helmet.
Well, I mean, Goshen wears high end. I mean, they wear. I mean, Goshen wears Adidas uniforms. I think custom uniforms, and Charles Henderson wears custom Nike.
Yeah.
I don't know what helmets they use. I think Coach Snyder, when I talked to him in Montgomery the other day, I think he said he wears Rydell, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, the top helmets are Rydell, Shunt, and then they've got a new helmet that's come out. Is that right?
Yeah, they've got a few other brands, but I mean, by far the top two are Shunt, Rydell.
And of course, it just goes to show you the cost. And those things are heavy. God, those helmets are heavy.
Well, I mean, they got so much more technology and padding. I mean, they even have things now where you can
have you ever looked at the old Rydell that I had to wear? Just with just one extension in there.
Yeah, I can't believe y'all were able to even.
Oh gosh.
Man.
And how about the guys that went without a face mask? Well, see, one thing about the Rydell was it was a helmet everybody wore, even Alabama and Auburn, all them wore. But they had a plastic face mask, a real light plastic face mask. Now they wear steel face masks. I mean, that could hurt you.
I mean, that's the difference. I mean, I remember growing up playing Pee Wee, and we had those bike helmets, and they were plastic face.
Do you know if they went back to the plastic face mask, that they would be that they would actually be more protected? I think. You wouldn't have near as bad injuries because the helmet would be lighter. And the impact wouldn't be quite as strong. I mean, that steel hitting a person can hurt you. Don't you agree?
Well, you got quarterbacks and stuff that wear, rib protectors and neck guards. I mean, you got a lot of guys wearing pretty much armor out there, especially in the pros and in college now. I mean, the money makes it where you can spend whatever. It's the high schools. These kids don't have the big budget. See. We do reconditioning programs, and you're not allowed to have a helmet over 10 years old. Yeah. If you have a helmet over 10 years old, you basically have to throw that away.
Exactly.
That's a policy.
Yeah.
just for protection issues more than anything.
You know, a lot of.
I'll say this. I mean, like I look back and just like from when I played compared to what I mean, you know, when you played and now, you know, in 2018 and just how strong and big and fast all these guys are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more physical. I mean, it's got to be more physical now than ever.
That's right.
You know,
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, of course, we got to visit.
Collision.
Yeah, we got to visit the other day with Kincaid Pennington, and wasn't he awfully fun to talk to?
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he still plays at, you know, Smith Station, and
You know, he's got a good job. That's a 7A school, isn't it?
I believe so.
Big school, and of course,
Coach-
located between
coach
Opelika
football.
and Phoenix City. What? He's a track coach too.
Yeah.
Mike, this big kid, this lineman from.
They're kind of talking about Montgomery the other day that Jamie DeBose is going to leave Central Phoenix City to take the Prattville job again. I wonder if that's going to happen.
Well, you know, they were talking about how much.
I guess our superintendent or Brad McCoy could probably tell you. They're probably still good friends with
Well, I
him.
tell you what, isn't that unreal? The kind of money that that they're paying Rigby to go to Eufaula, over $100,000.
Oh, is that public
Pretty
knowledge?
good. Yeah, it's public knowledge, evidently. I've seen it so
wow.
many places, and isn't that something?
Well, good for Coach Rigby. He deserves it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what in the world anybody that knows football to see what he did down there at Elba and to see what kind of guy he is and what kind of program he runs. I mean, if I was an athletic director at a high school or a principal or a superintendent, I would have gone down there and made him offers numerous times.
Well, what I want to know, Coach, and I should have called him this morning and talked to him because I think he heads to Eufaula next week. But hey, he fed his kids Vienna sausage. I wonder will he do that at Eufaula? At Elba, he fed them Vienna sausage every day at 10 o'clock. Their noonday snack was Vienna sausage, a can. And he also never kicked extra points. I wonder will he do that at the 5A Eufaula? And it's several things. And of course, now I think he'll do this. He gave out Snicker bars at halftime, which I thought was a good idea. That was just some of the things that he did. And
the big question will be for him and his wife. His wife, very successful women's coach at Troy.
Yeah.
Coach Rigby's wife, Shonda Rigby.
I would think that Coach Rigby.
And where will they live?
Well, I would think he would still commute. I would think that instead of his wife having to commute.
That's a lot longer drive to Eufaula and Elba. That Eufaula drive takes a while.
You're right. Maybe he could find a place in between. Maybe in.
I guess they could live off Elm Street, kind of high up somewhere, and that would get him going that way.
Exactly right.
Or Banks or something.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, one thing about this baseball deal tomorrow at Real Pace Field is going to start at 11 o'clock. We've got Chase Smart, we've got Joey Dennison, and we got Russ Hickson, all from Troy that play for Troy. Will be playing for Troy this year.
That's great. I mean,
3 Troy guys.
I think that's great that Coach Smart, tries to recruit these kids, these local kids, and they're good players, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that Chase Smart.
Between Pine Level Arts and Charles Henderson teams over the years,
I got
you could have some pretty good teams.
No question about it. And Pike Liberal Arts going to have a solid team. They've got a big event going up this weekend. They've got a home run derby and a lot going on out at Pike Liberal Arts School this weekend too. So check with them and get the times and dates. And again,
I'm going to take New England before we go. I'll take New England to the Super Bowl. I think the final score is going to be 31-17.
I like New England. I've got them 34-14. New England.
Man, I'll talk to you Monday.
All right, buddy. Thank you for calling. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed our show today. Of course, we talk sports. We talk what's going on. And again, congratulations to Representative John Lewis as we proclaim, or it is proclaimed John Lewis Day on Saturday in Troy and Pike County. And again, he'll be doing a presentation this morning at the university, and we'll be watching that closely. And also at the Troy Public Library in the morning. So check your times and for that, and of course again congratulations, and hopefully it'll be a wonderful weather to enjoy a great day as we honor that outstanding individual, John Lewis. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday morning bright and early for Today in LA.